Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Let's talk about books. Here are some books that you can bring into your library for your elementary aged student. I would say these books are really good for a third grader, maybe up until sixth grade probably. But if your child is like mine and the book title, the thickness of the book, or the storyline does not scare or hinder them from wanting to dive on in to a good piece of literature, then let them read. Let your second grader read it. Let your first grader read it. My son is going to the 7th grade. He still enjoys reading these types of books. So for him, they're quick reads. He can get one done within about 5 to 6 days if he spends about an hour reading every day for that time period. So let's dive on in. Let me show you what I have. And oh yeah, by the way, they are all Black characters and the authors are all Black, I think. So let's dive on in. The first book is by Omari Stoudemire, or Stoudemire. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. But he is a NBA player, and he has a whole bunch of these books within this same series, which stands for Standing Tall and Talented. I think this is the first book called Home Court. This book series is about a kid who doesn't play the game for nothing other than just having fun. But he has to show off his skills and talents when his friends are challenged on the court. So here he is stepping in to save the day. So this is a really good series. Clubhouse Kids. I think this is the older version, the older cover. This is a series of quite a few books. I only have the first 3. But with this series here, you have a group of 4 friends, and they're always going on an adventure. They're trying to figure out what is happening around town. The 4 friends are Ziggy, Rayshawn, Jerome, and Rico. So this is a really, really great series. Wonderful for your first grader, second grader, third grader. I think they would absolutely love this. And even your 4th and 5th grader, they would absolutely love this series. And it's by Sharon Draper. I don't know if Sharon is a Black author. Yeah, she's a Black author. So Sharon is a Black female author. So really great series here. I think once your child reads one of these, they're going to keep on going. And of course, we have to bring in Black Panther, the young prince. This right here captures his story as a 12-year-old, I think. So T'Challa is 12 years old at the time, and he's living in Wakanda. And this is a nation that is completely advanced in comparison to any other nation on the planet. So, him and M'Baku, they get into some trouble. They're always doing some sneaky stuff. They're boys, right? They're 12-year-old boys being boys. But there's something happening around the nation. There's a fight, there's a war, there's some quarreling between nations around Wakanda. So his father tells him, you're going to go to America in order to get an education. And M'Baku, you're going to go with him. So as they go to the south side of Chicago to middle school, they're like, hold on, I'm coming from Wakanda. I'm a young prince. And my friend M'Baku, we are used to having like this wonderful education, not only from what we're learning, but from the buildings, from the resources that we use, because Wakanda is just technologically advanced, right? So here they are in middle school, the south side of Chicago. Their worlds are completely shifted. What happens next? This is a great book. So go ahead, read this book, and then follow it up with the movie, okay? So Black Panther, this follows his journey as a young prince, and I think it leads beautifully into the movie that we've seen today, okay? So take a look at it. Wakanda forever. So this book here is about a young kid named Clayton who loves to play the blues harp with his grandfather. And he feels like the only way he can live, the only way, life makes sense to him, this young kid, is when he's playing the blues harp with his papa, grandfather, and his father's band. But something tragic happens. Grandfather dies. Once grandfather dies, his mother says, I don't want you to play the blues harp anymore. I banned the harp. I banned the music from my home. Clayton is like, no. So this follows the storyline of what happens next. Beautiful story. This here is a great series as well. I think, this is episode 1, book 1, but they have a lot of books within this series. It's the greatest, right? So this is about a 5-year-old kid, and this 5-year-old kid thinks he knows everything about everything. Like, he's the smartest, like, he's just a genius. He knows it all. And the adults are like, hey, Jayden, you don't know it all. You're 5 years old. Sit back and, learn through us, learn and take your time, but you don't know it all. Okay. And he's like, I kind of do, but guys, he kind of does. He's kind of a genius. He kind of knows how to do everything and everything about everything. Right. So the storyline is he has to try to convince these adults that he knows more than they think. And he does something to help them figure that out. So follow the series. It's excellent. And this is also Black protagonists. I think all the books I'm showing you are Black protagonists. And this one is by a Black author, I think, Dumas. The name sounds Creole, Haitian Creole, or French. So Dumas, Martin. Not sure. I'm presuming. If not, the characters are Black protagonists. Also, I noticed in the back of the book how he has this picture of Toussaint Louverture. So this is a great way that you can bring in some African history as well. Toussaint Louverture was the man who helped lead the way to giving independence to Haiti during the Haitian Revolution. So this is an opportunity for you to kind of do that. Also, I don't know if you do this, but when I read books, or my son is reading books, we look at the pictures. We definitely look at the pictures to see, what's in their room or what's in the background. And that tells us a little bit more about the character. So when I saw that picture, when I first purchased that book for my son, I figured, okay, so if I see that picture, that means the author may be of Haitian descent. And then it allowed us to dive into some studies of the continent and of that person, Toussaint Louverture, that I just showed you. So use this again as an opportunity to do that. Don't just read just to read, but do picture studies. Also, Max Axiom, and there are a lot in these series, and he's like a super scientist. So if you want to merge some comic books with whatever you're teaching in science, it goes from anatomy and physiology. He goes into, your matter, your physics, your chemistry. There is something for every area of science with this comic book series. The one I got was engineers. My son thinks he's interested in engineers, or I think he's interested in engineers. So I got that. And then also we try to do STEM. So this was an opportunity for us to bring in STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. So let me show you about the great adventure that the guy goes through. So this one is how it's going into robots, rockets, machines, materials, farms, medicine, chemicals, skyscrapers, and computers. So first it goes into what is Max's mission. Okay, so it talks about his mission, and then he starts going on the mission to do various things. So although it's comic book style, we definitely love to do picture study. So study the pictures, look at the pictures, especially if the child doesn't know how to read yet. This will be a great way for you to kind of have them tell the story through the pictures, and then you can read the dialogue after they've studied the picture. For those that know how to read, they can take this and read it multiple times. And when they read this, you can tell them to do some independent study, some self-directed study. And if you have other books within your arsenal, your library, then they can go and further research or further just look through the books that you may have in your arsenal related to whatever topic they're reading about within this comic book. So this is a really fun read, but although it's a fun, interesting, adventurous read, it's teaching them so much about the topic at hand. So for this area of STEM, the different missions that he has are drones, robots, and space travel. And also about the story of the cell phone technology. So again, it always starts off with them telling him his mission. And then he's going off and he's trying to figure out what's going on. What makes a cell phone work in this example? What's about the battery? What about the screen? What about the wavelengths? Like, what's making this cell phone work? So your child is learning all about the ins and outs of a cell phone through comic books. Then they'll go into drones and they'll go into other types of machines and stuff like that. So this is excellent, excellent, excellent. And I want to say that the author of this is a scientist themselves. So that makes it even greater. So this right here, I would say could work for your elementary to your middle school to your high school. This honestly, guys, can be used for all age groups. Doesn't matter. Kids are into comic books. They love it. He teaches them something in such a creative way. So this, all ages, even you. This book here, definitely, I would say from the time they can read, so kindergarten maybe, depending on if they can read, you can read it to them. Obviously, any book you can do as a read aloud. On their own, maybe first grade through like third grade for this one. And I already told you the ages of everything else. This one can also serve as a middle school read right here. Okay.
Can you give me something to eat?
Okay, let's look something to eat. All right, guys. So let me go feed this child. But hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment box below. And as always, be blessed and make it a great day.
Bye, Mommy.